as we're about to start our session now, okay, I guess this is the best topic that you're going to share by Mr. Prateek here, because the topic is mainly about make every dollar count, maximizing value of security investment, as per presented by SENTINELONE, the booth, the purple booth at the left side here. Okay, I'm presenting Mr. Prateek Bhajanka, which is the field CISO and also the former Ghana analyst, to be on stage. Welcome, Mr. Prateek. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And Salamat Page, everyone. Good morning. How many of you are here for a session where you can get more money out of your cybersecurity stock investment? If you think you are there for this, you are in this room for this reason, so you will be disappointed. So I'm not here to help you maximize the return on your cybersecurity stock investment. This is not the security investment I'm talking about, but I'm here to help you with the kind of investments you have made in your cybersecurity, in your organization. How do we make more value? How do we derive more value out of what you already have? And how can you do more with less? That is the topic that we will be addressing today. And one of the reasons why I chose this topic to begin with, because most of the time, all of us look like this. We are worried. Being in cybersecurity, it's not easy. It's always we have sleepless nights. We have no idea what may go wrong and how can we fix it. And so many other problems. We need more budget. The management says, oh, why do you need more budget now? We gave you $1 million just last month. Tell me the return on investment on your existing security investment. Tell me what did you do with that money? And on top of it, economic slowdown, where your corners are getting cut. You already were facing challenges with your budget, cybersecurity budget, and now it's getting cut even further. Your corners are getting cut. So in those cases, what should you do? And on top of it, these are the challenges that we are facing. On top of it, adversaries are getting faster and they are evolving much faster than expected. They are getting sophisticated. We are getting slow. They are getting faster. We are getting slow. They are getting much more simple and we are getting a lot more complex. Then we have lack of skill and talent shortage in our organizations. I don't think so it is something that needs to be explained, because we have dearth of cybersecurity professionals in the organizations. There are so many unsolved use cases. I attend so many such cybersecurity conferences, and if I talk to any cybersecurity leader about some of the challenges that they are facing, they can go on and on for at least 2 hours without even taking a breath about the problems and unsolved cybersecurity use cases that they have in their organization. And lower utility margins. What do I mean by lower utility margins? Is that I invested so much of money in this particular technology, but it is not giving me the best outcome. It is not giving me the outcome that I expected out of it. And it is not creating enough security value for me. And that is the reason why, despite the efforts that we are putting in, there lies an efficiency gap between the attackers and the defenders. And there still lies a big gap that we all need to bridge in order to get better at what we are doing. Okay? So, and because of the reason, okay, sorry. And because of the reason why attackers are always getting faster, there are headlines that we don't want to see, but we end up seeing. And these are very common headlines you may be able to relate to and you may have seen in the recent past. Ransomware attacks in Malaysia surged by over 37%, and so many organizations across government, private, semi-private are falling victim to ransomware attacks. So it is very important that before we jump onto the solution, before we start talking about the solution, it's very important that we understand our customers. What do you mean by customers? In, in businesses, it's very commonly talked about that we should know our customers, know your customers well so that we can do better job at businesses. In cybersecurity, we should be better at knowing your cyber enemy. So in businesses, it's KYC. In cybersecurity, it should be KYCE, which is knowing your cyber enemy. This is a research report on ransomware threat actors that SENTINELONE published in the month of January 2023, which talks about different ransomware threat actors and how prevalent and what is the kind of ransomware demand that they are making in the industry at this point of time. I'm not sure whether the link is very clear from behind or not, but the link is here for this particular report for you to download and refer for yourself. So it's very important that we understand what we are defending against, because if you do not know about your cyber enemy, you are securing against nothing. So it's very important that you know your threats and know your cyber enemy. And don't let this be your anti-ransomware strategy. So you may not be able to read what is written on the paper here, but this is something I came across in Melbourne, in front of one of the restaurants which was closed over the weekend, and there was a notice saying that no cash kept on the premises. So it was like a notification to the thieves who generally break into the restaurants, assuming that there will be cash kept in this premises and we may be able to steal it. So they tried to give a notice, an upfront notice to the thieves that please do not break in, do not break the glass door because we don't have money. And don't waste your time and our time as well. But sadly, this is the same approach that a lot of mid-sized organizations also take when it comes to anti-ransomware strategy. You may see a lot of companies saying that, oh, I don't think so I will get hacked because I don't have anything confidential or any value or any data of any value in my organization. And I don't need to implement strict cybersecurity controls. But that is wrong, because even if you do not have a lot of important information and data in your organization, you still may be made fun of. So this is a newspaper clipping from one of the recent breaches where the attacker made fun of the victim organization, saying that we are not going to launch another attack on this organization once again. It was too easy for us. Just read the lines. The breach was too easy given how weak the network security and protection was. So this kind of reputation damage and not having taken care of the basics and the due diligence will go a long time and will damage your reputation for a long time. So that is the reason assuming that we will not get breached is the wrong approach. And in those cases, you should also not be fearing these data breaches and these ransomware threat actors, but you should be aware of it. Because vendors, very commonly what they do, the moment a new breach has come out, they all start chasing the ambulance saying that I could have prevented it, I could have prevented it, I could have detected it. So you do not worry about or do not fear these breaches, but be aware of how these attacks are manifesting so that you are able to do a better job at it. By the way, let's break some common myth. Some of the myth is that we very commonly assume that the more we spend, the more we will be able to implement security. So one of the common myths that we should be debunking, spend does not mean protection. And more is not always better. In fact, the more technology that you put in, you will increase the level of complexity. And you will be drowning in your own solution. The typical uh, saying is that you drown in your own problems, but when you have done over solution, you will be drowning in your own solutions. So more is not always better, and perfect security does not exist. This is another interesting picture that I found in one of the client offices that I was visiting. Any guesses what it is? Any guesses? Anyone who can explain just looking at the picture? A picture says 1,000 words. Anyone?
Anyone?
Any guesses? Of course.
Use the toothpick to press the button.
Exactly. Use the toothpick to press the elevator's button. This was to avoid touching the common surfaces during the COVID pandemic. This is so creative. Isn't it very creative to putting controls where you know that if I put a technology control that it should be a touchless elevator button, it will take me days for me to first of all do the procurement, then get it installed, then make sure that the users are trained on it, because I am still not trained on it, to be honest with you. So I still go to a lot of offices where they have touchless water coolers where you just hover your finger on it and it starts dispensing water. But I end up touching it every time and pressing the button every time. Because as a user, that behavior has not changed in me. So, but this was such a creative way of avoiding common touches. And this is a good example that do we really need only technology to implement controls, or do we need commitment, will and commitment and creativity? This is a perfect example that we can implement controls even without having to worry about technology. And at this point of time, we should also understand that we should be able to communicate with the businesses much more in an effective manner. So what language do you think that the businesses understand? There are so many languages written out here. Any guesses what language does the business understand? English, Malay, Bhasha Malaysia,
Any answers? If you can answer.
Chinese, Hindi.
English.
English. She said English.
Okay, great.
Okay, is it correct?
Unfortunately not. Business only understands the language of cost, revenue, and risk. No matter what medium of language that you use with them, English, Hindi, Malay, or whatever.
That's a very tricky question, right?
Exactly. So it should be put in terms of cost, revenue, and risk so that they're able to make better sense of. And that is the reason why we should be communicating security in business terms. In cost, we should talk about lower total cost of ownership, higher return on security investment. When it comes to revenue, talking about competitive edge. When it comes to risk, improving cyber resilience, achievement of mission, meeting compliance and security requirements. So the next time when you are talking to your business, don't tell them that how many vulnerabilities that you fixed in your organization. Tell them about how did you help them in reducing the cost, reducing the risk, or increasing the revenue of the company, and you will have their attention. You have to talk in the language that they understand. So now we are getting into the crux of the topic. We security professionals are always very busy. And the reason, and the more busy we get, the less innovation we do. And that's the reason we are not able to take a step back and see how can we do things better. And that is the reason even if we are dragging the cart and someone is coming to us with a solution, we say, oh, we are too busy. Please do not disturb me. This is the way it has worked and this is the way it will. So do not disturb me, even though I may be very slow or I may be taking a lot of pain. And that is the reason, the topic that we chose today. Security investment is typically, just to give you an understanding, existing investment plus new investment. Security value is adding this component, that variable component that we would be talking about, which gets used with security investment to give you the security value. And that is where we would be looking at maximizing the value. So 3 small efforts that will result in big outcomes. The very first thing, doing the simple things well in information security. The second one, human plus machine teaming. And the third one, unification. It is all about doing things differently and making use of your existing security investment. But before you take these measures, the very first step that you need and the very first commitment and the very first thing that you need is commitment from the business. Without business's commitment, you cannot go anywhere. So it's very important that you communicate security goals in terms of business goals, how it will help them achieve their business goals. Get the senior management on board, get your business on board, and you will be able to sail through your security projects, security initiatives. Now, the initiatives to maximize the value. Doing the simple things well, the very first thing is regular health checkup. Do you ever wonder which doctor does your doctor go to in case the doctor falls sick? Right?
Yes, I'm wondering.
Right.
What is the answer?
So this is what exactly the first point talks about. Regular health checkup of your cyber security tools. So we often deploy cyber security tools and we take the approach of fit and forget. And we think that it will do everything all by itself. But it is very important that we look at the fact that, or maybe what we also do, we sometimes disable certain capabilities of our cybersecurity tools because of one false positive that they may have generated, because of the varying or new functionalities that are released and you have not even looked into it. So regular health checkup of your security technologies is very important. It will help you derive more value out of it. If you remember, the WannaCry incident, had regular health checkups been done on the existing antiviruses endpoint protection platform, WannaCry attack would not have been possible because they had the capabilities to stop the attack like WannaCry, but because health checkups were not done, they were able to be successful. So what you do, you perform, you have all these technologies in your organization, you perform regular health checkup, you review the recommendation, you implement the recommendations and strengthen your security capabilities, and you have more security value coming out of your existing investment already. This does not need more money. This does not need more technology investment. All this needs is an initiative and will and commitment. So it is so easy that you can go ahead and start it tomorrow itself. You work with your partner, you work with your reseller, and ask them to perform a regular health checkup of your organization. Security hygiene. In COVID situation or the COVID pandemic emphasized the importance of hygiene a lot. And same is what we have to do with cybersecurity as well. We talk about so many fancy technologies and silver bullets, but we very rarely talk about the hygiene. So in terms of hygiene, what we should be doing and implementing is the PMP framework: patch, multi-factor authentication, and privilege. If you are able to take care of PMP, you will be elevating the security posture of your organization to a large extent so that it becomes difficult for an attacker to launch attack against your organization because you have become stronger. It's all about, if you remember, during COVID times, we were talking about taking supplements, eating right, and taking good vitamins so that it becomes difficult for attackers, difficult for COVID virus to infect you. The same thing is here, that we are looking at building strength from within by doing the simple things, and we are able to raise the security posture so that the attackers are not able to launch attack against us. And also it's very commonly, what we very commonly do is that we try to build the road while we are walking on it. We don't plan ahead, or we don't plan in advance. We always think that, okay, we will do it when it comes to it. But that is also not the right approach in cybersecurity. And keeping in line, security technology is not equivalent to security capability. We need to have security capability and not just security technology. So what is a security capability? You have a security tool or technology, then you put policies and procedures on it, and then you put human intellect and capacity on it. And then it becomes security capability. So in order to derive value out of your security technology, you need to have the policies and procedures crafted well in advance. So let's say you deployed an EDR tool, endpoint detection and response tool, and you see 10 alerts coming up on the console. Without having the policies and procedures, you will have no idea what to do with it. What should I do with these alerts? How should I close these alerts? How should I investigate these alerts? How should I categorize these alerts? How should I report these alerts? Are these alerts very important? They are false positives, or they are of no use? So it's very important that if you have the policies and procedures in place, then you will be able to make better use of the tool. So exactly the point that I was trying to make, you may have the best solution. I mean, look at, they had the best solution in this picture, but if you do not know that this can be used as a wheel that can accelerate your organization's security posture and make it better, any tool or technology will be of no use. So it's very important that we understand what tool can do, and we build policies and procedures around it. Then comes human plus machine teaming. Please, those or anyone who tells you that AI can replace humans, do not let them tell you this, because humans are an integral part of your cybersecurity organization. You cannot do, or AI cannot replace you. AI can help you in augmenting and scaling you. And that is the reason why we need human plus machine teaming. So AI can help you with complex data analysis, giving you some recommendations, and human intellectual capital will go beyond it to give you more value, and it will be, the whole will be greater than the sum of its parts. And with the human component added, you will become or you will be able to build security capability out of your security investment. This is another blog that I had published recently on different security services that you need on top of an EDR technology or detection and response technology, depending on the maturity of your organization. So there is a QR code, you may want to scan it, and this will help you with some more insights into what kind of services are required at what level of maturity in your organization. Moving on. Also, the attackers are getting faster. As I was mentioning earlier, the attackers are getting a lot faster. If you look at the stats here, in 2019, an attacker would take from initial access to payload delivery, which is encrypting the system, they were taking 68 days. In 2022, they are taking less than 4 days. Average encryption time for ransomware is 24 minutes 52 seconds. The fastest ransomware is 5 minutes 50 seconds. So by the time, or since the time I started talking, they may have encrypted for at least 4 times the systems across the organization. They are getting so fast. So while they are getting faster, we cannot implement manual measures or cannot take manual responses. That is the reason we need automation. Automation helps you in responding at machine speed, at machine scale, when the attackers are getting faster. It will help you in streamlining, it will help you in uh, driving the standardization, and it will help you execute at machine speed. And that is how you would be able to get ahead of the attackers. So using automation in cybersecurity will also help you in more uh, in deriving more value out of your cybersecurity investment. The last initiative, we have been implementing cybersecurity capabilities. Organizations have been implementing cybersecurity capabilities in their organizations, but they are in very much silo. What we need to do, so if you look at the current structure or current state of the cybersecurity, you would see your EDR is working separately, your SIM is working separately, your cloud is working separately. And because of these gaps and siloed approach, there is a lot of information that falls between the crack. So what we need to do is to unify the technology. Do not perform security vendor consolidation, but you should look at security technology consolidation. So what does security, I'm sorry, I'll get out of the way. What is security technology consolidation is that all the best of breed technologies that you have, EDR, web, email, and so many different technologies, you feed that into one single unified data lake. Then you perform data analytics on top of it for cross-domain threat detection and analysis. Then you perform or have one single pane of glass for dashboarding and reporting, and perform or add automation on top of it and augment that with humans, and this will help you derive more value out of your existing investment. I'm not asking you to buy a new tool or a technology. I'm suggesting you to add all the strength that we have, combine all the strength that we have in our organization, and put them together to fight against the adversaries and to fight against the attackers. Right now, we have strength, but in small pockets in different areas, and that is the reason why attackers are always winning against us, because attackers are not thinking in silos. We as organizations are thinking in silos, but attackers are looking at the organization as a whole, and they go across the domain, across the domains. That's the reason we need to combine the strength, and we need to put all of this together. Just to, we are on the last two slides. Uh, just to summarize this, Sentinel-1, we are right on the left-hand side, right-hand side. Here, please, you come down, come to the booth. We can have a much in-depth conversation. But just to give you a small preview of what we are doing. So with Singularity platform in Sentinel-1, we are actually helping you in unification of all your security technologies in one single platform. So if you are using Office 365, if you are using Mimecast, if you are using Zscaler, Okta, all these tools, all these can be integrated well with one single platform, and you will be able to unify all your security technologies in one single platform. And we have all our partners in our booth, right from Mimecast to Exclusive Networks, so you may be able to have a conversation with them. Uh, Sentinel-1 was recognized as a leader, or has been getting recognized as a leader in the Gartner Magic Quadrant since last 2 years. We are at the top when it comes to Gartner Critical Capabilities Report. We are rated the highest. In MITRE attack evaluation, we have been performing at the top since last 3 years, and with zero delays. In Gartner Peer Insights, we are rated 4.8 out of 5. And these are the social recognitions of Sentinel-1. We are an endpoint security company which have forayed into cloud security and identity security as well. On that note, we believe in the fact that it should be more security and less complexity. And on that note, I'll conclude my presentation. But I'm more than happy to have more conversations around how can we help you, or perhaps how are you looking at evaluating, or rather I would say maximizing value in your cybersecurity investments. Thank you very much for your listening today.
Thank you very much. More security, less capacity. For the brilliant ideas and also the colorful slides, impressive. But just to let you know, Sentinel-1 will also have another presentation for tomorrow, and the topic is about ransomware. So if you guys want to hear more, please come again tomorrow, all right? Thank you very much. So it's about what time? Okay, in another 10 minutes, we'll have another session. So please be here while waiting. You can just visit the booth, and please come here by 11:40 for the next session. Okay, thank you very much. Hope to see you guys later on. Thank you.